Cold out here today. I'm just cold. Watching YouTube videos. Dry Creek Wrangler School. Actually, it's the Chasing Mountains podcast. They're interviewing Dwayne Noel. I guess it's Dwayne Noel. Noel. Let's go. All the scaffold is back. I'm gonna have to rearrange it. It's not tight enough to the wall. I barely could walk through. That's not gonna work. I have to redo it. But it was raining when we put it up. Oh, the sun is out. It is about 4:30. I made some short ribs in a Dutch oven. I actually just put them back in to warm them up again. They're actually not short ribs though. Rayleigh's was supposedly had short ribs for $6.19 a pound, but when I got down there it was 11 something. So I ended up buying like neck bone meat. It's neck bones, but it's got meat on it. They were actually pretty good looking for 6 something a pound. They're pretty tasty. Not as good as short ribs, but it's a lot of weeds here to pull. The lettuce has been doing pretty good. That's lasted through the whole winter. That was planted in the fall. The carrots. Probably some good carrots in here. Yeah? Can you see that one down there? There, right there. There's a bunch of them. And then the desert wall. And here's the garlic. It's getting some thick stalks on it. It's looking pretty good. I wonder if there's any actual garlic head in there. I don't know. It's pretty heavy duty looking. They're getting pretty solid. But I think they need like 3 more months. I think they take 6 months or so. I don't know, because I haven't grown them in a number of years. I just put them in. I usually just grow onions. The onions haven't come yet. I ordered them online this year. There's the rosemary. And over here, I just drank a whole glass of like a pre-workout drink. I'm burping. So here's a oregano. It grows really well in the wintertime. And this spring, it'll probably get twice as big as that by, May, June. It'll be huge. And what I'll do is, and then that's mint or spearmint. When it gets real big, I'll trim it back and I'll dry it, and then it gives me enough dried oregano for almost a year. Well, about a year. And I like dried oregano way better than fresh oregano. I don't really like fresh oregano. I like fresh rosemary though. And then this is camellia. I keep them trimmed back. They'll look good in spring. It would look good right now if I hadn't trimmed them so radically a couple months ago. But they get so big. Yeah. There's a project bike. I have another one in the garage. It's my son's bike. I'm going to work on them this spring. I'm going to clean them all up. I probably won't paint it, but I'll probably replace some cables if I need to, and brake pads. Obviously, tires and tubes. Well, the tires look good on this one. I think it needs new tubes. It's real light. And the one in the garage, yeah, this is real light. And the one in the garage is even better. I think it's a Santa Cruz or so. It's a pretty good brand. This is a junky bike here. But I have extra seats from the e-bikes. And, tubes aren't too expensive at all. I might put pedals on it just to spruce it up. And just a new chain. Just clean it up. And, use it this summer. A lot of ladders. I got this refrigerator. I bought it for my son when he moved temporarily, like for about a month and a half, at his mom's shop, which didn't work out too well. I kind of figured it wouldn't. How is it that a freezer can get dirty and it's not even used? Bizarre. Refrigerator looks pretty clean. There's a ketchup in there. Oh, there's some drinks in there. Oh, I got energy drinks. Here, I thought they were all gone. That's cool, because those are 2 for $5 at the store. How many are in there? It's $10 worth of drinks. I buy them on Amazon, though. It's a little cheaper. And all the bikes. I put a new carburetor on that motorcycle, that little motorcycle. It seems like it doubled the horsepower. A little bit bigger carb and much better carb. Made a huge difference. And then I'm trying to sell these e-bikes. I have it on Marketplace, but I figure I just want to sell one of them. And I don't actually care which one sells. If I had my preference, honestly, I like them both. I really do. Which one would I rather have? If this one had 29s on it, the big tires, I'd probably want this one. But it's got the 27.5, and this has the 29s. And This one has a better self-rising seat. What do they call that? You hit the lever on the bar there. This one's right here. It's not much different. They got a name for that when the stem pops up. And I can't remember what that's called. But the suspension is the same, pretty much. The setup is the same. The handlebars, because I changed the handlebars. I haven't really taken this riding on the trail since I added this really big riser. I gave it a real big lift kit. It's really lifted. Normally they would be a lot lower on a mountain bike, but I like them like high like that. That's just the way I like it. So I'm curious to take it on the trails with that setup. This looks like it would be weak, but they're actually quite strong. So yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. And this is adjustable. So I could lean it forward more if I wanted to. I could even turn this around and have that facing closer. But I think that's going to be good like that. And this one's pretty much the way I like it. This is the bigger bike. Slightly bigger. Same motor. The M620. Puts out about 1,500 watts. Mid-drive. Awesome. Awesome bikes. Yeah, I would sell either one. Yeah, I can't really tell you. One is just not heads and tails better than the other. I do like the all black though. But then again, to be honest with you, this is my favorite, this one. I mean, it's not a true mountain bike. It's a cruiser. I wish I had a little bit wider handlebars, but I don't think I'm gonna invest any more money in it. I kind of wanted a wider handlebar, just a little more comfortable with a wider bar. And I wish I had a crossbar, because you could see all the crap I got mounted on here for GoPros, phone, another phone. I guess I don't need two phone things. That's overkill. And then a GoPro here. But this could be a GoPro too. I could take this off and I could just put another GoPro there and swing that up or whatever. I could, if I wanted to have two GoPros on here. And that's generally what you do, is a GoPro pointed at you and a GoPro pointed at the trail. I had that set up here. There's a GoPro mount, there's a GoPro mount. And I think I have one or two other mounts I could utilize. But, yeah, so, I could change it around. Let's see, what do I got here? I got I got a GoPro mount here, and I got another one right here, and then I have a phone mount here, and I have a phone mount there. And here I just have the one phone mount. I have some other phone mounts, but I was using the ones that didn't have a bottom catch like this. It was just this part. And I was always afraid of in fact, the phone fell out. It just fell out. I like to have this bottom part here to hold the phone in place. And I think these rotate. Yeah, they rotate. You can get carried away with all the accessories. And I have, I just put new tires on this one. It's got brand new tires on it. I bought those about 2 years ago. And I ripped a hole in the sidewall of the front tire. I think it was, was it the front tire? I think it was the front tire. And so, I ended up I just changed them both. These are better tires than what the bike came with. A little bit better. These are good tires. These are good tires, and they're still in good shape. These bikes don't have a ton of miles. Holding air pretty good. Yeah, so they're all cleaned up. The chains are all lubed. I took the chains off on a couple of them and soaked it on that one, and I think this one. I'm not, or was it this one? One of them. I know I did that one. I also took the chain off that bike and soaked it. And I think I did this one. I have to replace the chains a couple times during the summer. They get it. They're not really rated for the power those motors put out, and you have to bring spares with you, or you'll get stuck. This is my combination machine, a Hoist. Hoist is known for making some pretty good stuff. I got a rack that goes up to 150. You could buy more weights for it. This is for push, chest, and upper arms and stuff. You could take these off and you could put on straps. And then this, when you put these straps on, you really have to use a lot of small muscles in your arms and chest and stuff to control it, which is supposed to be better for the workout. And then you could sit here with your chest up against this and grab the handles here and then pull towards you. Another good exercise. And then it's got a lat pull down right here, which is redundant because there's a lat pull down there. There's actually two lat pull downs. I should use this more often. The only thing I don't like about these machines, and especially that one, it's got the knee lock, that right there that goes in this slot, and it holds your knees when you're pulling. If you're doing lat pull downs and you can pull 200, 225, up to 225, 235 with this machine. It doesn't take a lot of practice before you'll be pulling 200. Well, for most people, which is more than I weigh. Well, not now. I weigh about 206, but when I'm 190 or even 200, you're pulling down 200. You're just going to lift yourself up. So you have to lock your knees underneath. People who go to the gym know what I'm talking about with that thing there, but it's just awkward. It's not like the ones at the gym that slide over here. Those are really uncomfortable, and it hits right here, and it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. So what I end up doing is a lot of times I'll just put my feet up here, which gives me more pull down power to keep my body down. In the worst case scenario, when I'm really going crazy, which I will be in a couple months, I'll take this large kidney belt. This is for doing, a belt you would wear for deadlifts and whatchamacallit? Well, deadlifts. No, power lifts. So I loop it around there, and I loop it around this seat here, and then around my body, and it holds my body down to the chair. It's really, it's funky. But I think I could probably use this machine for that. I've never thought about it, but if I was to do a lat pull down with this, I guess I could lock. See, that's the problem. See, this locks in the downward position, but when you go up, look, it doesn't lock. It just goes up. So I'll lower it down. It's down. Now watch. I can raise it because it's meant for doing quad stretches. So when I have it here, it's awkward. You could see in the mirror. How could I? Now it's locked in the high position. And then, let me see for a second. Well, it kind of works. The problem is I don't get enough elevation. I can't extend all the way. And I don't know how I could fix that. Because it's almost as I could eliminate this ring and get this much more. If I eliminate this ring, I go that much higher. How else could I? I could probably put a chair out here and lock myself in this way. Is that possible? I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I could take that bench, or one of these benches, and put it here, across this way, and then sit on it and get... I bet I could do that. That's a good idea. And then I could lock my legs out here and pull down. You know, I think I could do that. And then it's got this here, so you could stand here and do bicep curls. I got to utilize this more. I've only used it a couple times. I think there's other attachments. This takes a special... See, it locks. The way it locks in, you got to have these. You got to have these D rings here, like that. Everything's starting to kind of rust up a little bit out here, and I don't forget what that pad is for. And here's for doing the bicep curls and stuff. So that's that machine. And then this one, these things are way overpriced, but they are awesome. Tough stuff. So this one goes up to 235. So it's 225 pounds there. And then I can go from 0 to 5 more, 10 more. And I just got to keep this WD'd because it's outside here, and you know, if I don't WD it, it can kind of bind a little bit. But this has got the seated row. I want a dedicated seated row machine because I like doing seated rows. And I wanted the ones with the sliding bench, sliding seat. Or at the very least, I saw one for about $1,500. Actually, it was like $1,200. And if I take that bench press bench out and move it, and then move these old weights my son's got. My son was taking those, like, what are those? Like 50, 55 pounds, 60 pounds. He presses those. He lays on the bench with, and I've seen him press those like 30 times. Well, it was about over a year ago, without even like warming up or doing a lot of work or hitting the weights consistently. Too bad he doesn't work out. He would be so strong. But he doesn't take care of himself at all. That's a whole nother story. I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, I'm getting off track. So if I take this bench out, in this area where this bench is, I could fit a machine dedicated to doing seated rows. I saw one. It's real nice. It's sold in town here. There's a store over by Foster's Freeze on 4th Street, right in this little parking lot of 4th Street. There's a place that sells gym equipment, a small place. And I went in there one day, and they have a machine that looks perfect. And it's a dedicated, and instead of having this round bar for your feet, which I can't stand, it has the big has one of these, but much larger, and they're like this, you know, like floorboards, and which is way more comfortable, and you get a better push. Here you don't. It hurts your feet. It's challenging to your feet, and I'm always readjusting. It doesn't work. I mean, it works, but it's not what I like. But I do like the fact that it's got this. It's got this here, and I love doing these individual pulls. And then it's got this one higher up, and you could switch back and forth, whatever you want. And, you know, you could stand here and you could pull out this way. You could stand, I could move this bench and stand here, excuse me, and then pull down tricep curls. This is, and if I use my imagination, there's probably a number of other exercises that I could use or do with this machine. You just have to get creative, and I have, you know, a number of different bars and attachments and whatnot. Some steel, some aluminum, and so you know. And then I do have some free weights. But my free weights only go up to 45 pounds. And then I have a number of old weights like that laying around. But I don't like those. Those look like they're just going to fall and hit you in the head. I mean, they're just awkward. But you can see that there's a bar. There's barbell down there with some plastic coated weights. I got weights over there. There's another curl bar there. Yeah. There's stuff everywhere. Oh, this is another machine right here. You can see this. This is a bench press right here. It's all covered with tools and stuff. But this is a bench press setup. This whole thing here. And that's where that bench, you could use that bench right here. This is a good setup. It's got a rack. Like I said, it's for bench pressing and stuff. But it's the real deal. It's a good one. Obviously, it's not being utilized. But if I do any bench pressing, I usually just do it with two individual dumbbells. And then we have this this is adjustable, and then I have that one that's obviously adjustable. So yeah, there's my setup. It's like I said, if I had the room, I would get a couple more machines. Definitely a seated row dedicated machine, and I would probably get like a mini rack machine where I could do a lot of tricep work and stuff like that. And I don't do any overhead lifting from either a seated or standing position anymore, because I have compressed discs in my lower back, and I had surgery to correct that problem, which was mainly actually a ligament that runs in my spinal column had grown enlarged and was real fibrous, and it was impinging on my main nerve, that spinal column, as in particular where the sciatica nerves come out. And my legs were going to sleep, and they would go numb, and they would fall asleep on me, and I couldn't walk. That's been corrected. But any exercises I do that compress my discs in my back is not good for me at this point, because my discs down there are have been damaged over the years, and as you get older, your spine kind of compresses on itself. So I don't want to do any exercises that I think are helping me, but in reality are harming me. So I have to stay away from that type of exercise. And it's not necessary. I don't need it. I don't need that exercise. So, again, I was going to do some stretching today, but I did it yesterday. And, man, I mean, I woke up today just feeling like $1,000,000 from one day of stretching. I should have did it today. I've been really lazy today. For no particular reason. I just lacked motivation today. There were things I could do. You could just take a look over here. You could look at my garage. You could look at the mess I need to clear up here. Of course, it was raining most of the day, but on and off. But there's always stuff I could be doing to kind of straighten stuff up. And I thought about all those things. I said, oh, I could do this, I could do that. And I just didn't. I just lacked the motivation today. I had a busy week, and I just wanted to chill. I wanted to cook, which I did, and watch some YouTube videos. Caught up with my paperwork, which didn't take very long, because I keep up with it anyway. And then, that's about it, man. I mean, what else? That's about all I can add. So lazy, kind of a lazy day, boring day. I actually lay down in bed I went back to bed for like an hour and a half this morning. Never did quite fall asleep again. But, and then got up and I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm just being lazy and tired. And probably because I got up at like 4:30. 4 o'clock, which was ridiculous. There was no reason to get up at 4, but I was awake. And then at 6:30 or 7, I went and laid back down for an hour and a half. And so that's my Sunday. It's kind of boring. I wish I had some company today, but I don't. I broke up with my girlfriend a while back. It was an unhealthy relationship. And normally ever so often, I wouldn't see her every weekend because she lived far away. But, here and there. And I don't have that anymore. But so I should fill my time with something useful in the meantime. But today was a lazy day. Like I said, I didn't do shit. Yeah. Well, there's always tomorrow. This whole week I have time to clear everything up because we're not working this week. We're only working we're working 3 days this week. We're going to work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Well, 4 days. We're going to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's just the schedule. We're not doing it because we want to do that. We're doing it because that's the only days that we can get out there and do the work this week. So, 4-day week, but through the next weekend, and then another week off, and then another week of work, and then after that, I might be wrapped up in that job, and I need something else. And I don't really have anything lined up right now, so I need to start doing some serious phone calls and hustling. The trials and tribulations of being self-employed. I'd like to get rid of this thing, but my son likes it so much, but he doesn't use it, but he wants it. So it's not for me to say that he can't have it. I mean, he wants it. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff I don't use. Yeah, so like I said, the seated row, if I could I don't think I could fit 2 more machines here. I could fit 1. Yeah, I'm talking myself into that machine. I've been wanting it for almost a year. I think I saw it about a year ago. And I think I'm gonna get it. Yeah. I at least like to go back down and check it out. Anyway, that's it. So this is I guess my tour of my machines. This machine was about $3,500. You get to pick out your colors. They offer a number of different colors and different colored leather, or whatever that Naugahyde, whatever that is, and then different paint schemes for the colors for the machine, and then because they make it to order, and then this one was I just ordered it and it came like that. This one was about $3,000, I think. That one was 35, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's probably more now. The only thing I would change on this is this to floorboards. This is where they expect you to put your I don't know what that's just to land that. You can't put your legs there. This is just funky. I thought about welding something on there, but I don't want to weld on this machine. I don't want to hack it up. Oh, and I got one other machine. I'll let you see it real quick. And this is a recumbent bike. A recumbent is because of the seated position. This is where I do most of my cardio. Here's my pad that I put down. Originally I bought an enormous one. I think it was 10 or 12 feet. I think it was 10 foot. It was so big I couldn't keep it anywhere, so I kept it outside, and then it got moldy. It was just too big. I don't know what I was thinking. So then I went back and bought this one. I think this is a 6-footer. It's 6 or 8. 6. It's plenty big. This is great. I mean, this thing, when you open it up, I just throw it on the floor here, and I do my stretching. And I should have stretched today. I really should have. I had all the time in the world. I thought about it. But, I feel really good from yesterday. So I'm going to do it tomorrow. But it's just 30 or 40 minutes of stretch. I think it's also the fact that I was so sore from last week. And now I had Friday, Saturday, and this is Sunday, 3 days off. Because our last day of work was Thursday, which was a hectic day, very physical day. And I was so sore Saturday. And then yesterday I worked out, but I was sore. That's why I did the stretching. But today I just woke up. I think it's a combination of stretching and just having 3 days off to rest my body. And everything just feels loose, and I just feel... I didn't expect it to be this good. It's a really pleasant surprise. My body responded really well, which is a good thing. So this is an RS3, and this is a Life fitness machine. You can get these in different configuration. You can get them with different price ranges depending on how many features really the panel has. But this has all the, it plugs in. You don't have to use it with the plug-in, but to plugs into. If you start pedaling, this will light up and work. But if you plug it in, you get more features. And then if you put your hands here, it reads your blood pressure. It registers after a minute or so. It tells you what your beats per minute, not pressure, but beats per minute is, so you can gauge yourself. This reclines. The back of the chair comes forward or goes back to a certain amount, enough, and then the whole thing slides, and I keep this pad on it because I get issues with soreness in my glutes. It's not my glutes, but there's another muscle up in there that when I do a lot of pedaling, that on this machine, it starts to get a little bit inflamed down there, and the pad helped. It just, well, particularly with my back, it's just, because sitting like this and pedaling can irritate my back a little bit. So I used that pad. And this is a fantastic machine. This was about $3,000. And I wanted to get something that mimicked the ones at the gym. Like if you go to, 24-hour fitness, those gyms and stuff, they have these kind of machines there. And I was used to it. And the recumbent machine is good for somebody who has back problems. And I bought this prior to my surgery. And it was just the most comfortable. The ones that you sit up straight in, it's very unusual. They're very uncomfortable for me, the stationary bikes that you sit up straight in as if you're riding a regular bike. But yet I ride my regular bikes on the trails all the time, and I have no issues on going over jumps and going over rough terrain. My back never hurts. And it could be because I'm standing on the pedals and I'm moving around. I don't know. Because I'm not really stationary, I guess. But on the upright stationary bicycles, I had issues in the past. I don't know now, since my surgery, if it would be any different, but this is just more comfortable. And it has more adjustability, and I'm just used to it. This is a great machine. It's smooth. The only thing I wish it had was, I'm already up to number 20, which is the most resistance you can have. 1 through 10, or 1 through 8 anyway, for me now, 1 through 15, 1 through 16, is useless. But I remember when I first got this thing, I was probably on 12, 15, starting somewhere in that neighborhood. So like 1 through 10 is kind of useless. And I wish 20 was a little bit harder. Not that I would use it all the time, but I can do 20. And on some days, I'm like pedaling really, really fast to get a good workout. Whereas if it was just could be a little bit more resistance, I could slow down a little bit and still get that hard workout and get my muscles really, working hard without having to pedal so fast. It's a minor complaint. Believe me, 20 is tough. But I've worked myself up to the end, and if I could do it, I imagine somebody who's 30 years old and really fit could do it easily as well. The ones at the gym seem to be able to be a little more resistant at the higher settings. But like I said, it still gives me a tremendous workout. So I'm not really complaining. It's a great machine. Now this I won't take outside. So there's really no room for it. I guess I could make room, but I don't want to take it outside. So I have the fan there. I put that fan there simply for this. Before I had a floor standing fan, but it's in the way. I put that there, and because it just blows down perfect on me. And then I have the door here and then I could open the front door for some ventilation when it's warmer out. But I spent a lot of time on this thing. I do 90-minute sessions on this bike. And I sometimes do an hour or 70 minutes. And on some days I'm not working. And then I'll come back in the afternoon and hit it again for maybe 45 minutes, maybe another hour. I'm not doing that now, but I've worked up to that in the past. And that's what takes the weight off. It's a lot of work though. And that's when my ass starts getting just ache. The muscle back there just start aching. Once that starts, it takes 6 months for that pain to go away. I looked it up before. I forget the name of that. It's a small muscle back there. And mine must be too tight. So I thought about going to one of those medical therapists. I did it years ago, where they try to work out knots and loosen up your tendons and muscles and stuff. And I think I'm going to do a handful of sessions. There's one called Medical Massage, I think, in Santa Rosa here. And I think I'm going to go in there and have them work on that and my shoulders. because right now I don't really have any major issues going. Well, my shoulder bothers me a little bit, but and my glutes are not really bothering me. But if I start pedaling, doing this long sessions, real long and real hard, it's going to flare up, I think. So I could probably stay ahead of it if I go ahead and, do that. So, go down there and have them kind of take the knots out and then continue to do my stretching and stuff. Because once the pain comes, once it gets inflamed, it's too late. You have to wait for the inflammation to go down, which takes forever. And then you have to work on it. You can't work on a tendon that's inflamed. You just make it worse. So since I know that that's probably going to happen, I probably should do something to stop it because it's very uncomfortable when that happens. It just makes me not want to get on the bike. Anyway, this is my stuff where I do for my exercise that I do to stay fit and to keep my heart in good health, and also for my mental well-being as well. And these are the machines that I currently have, and this works for me. So I don't have the motivation of going to the gym anymore and working out with amongst other people, but I'm pretty self-motivated, and it is convenient, and I did this because when COVID hit, that's just when I bought the machines. It took forever to get them, but because everybody was buying them at that time. I would imagine there's just probably a lot for sale now, because a lot of people buy this stuff and then they end up not using it, and they have to, at some point they start selling it. Okay, I will talk to you later. Bye.